Celebrating the connection with our pets. This is Animal Radio, featuring veterinarian Dr. Debbie White, groomer Joey Villani, news director Lori Brooks. And now, from the Red Barn Studios, here are your hosts, Hal Abrams and Judy Francis.
Dr. Debbie is answering your vet medical questions. Vlade, the world-famous Russian dog wizard, answering those most vexing dog issues. Dog father Joey Villani is back. Animal communicator Joy Turner bridging that gap. And on the show today, we have Jenna Fisher from The Office as the Season of Stars continues. Also, Stacey Cohn, finally back in her little booth after making coffee and then spilling it and having to go back. Poor girl. What are you working on?
Well, have you ever gone to church and you sit down and you're all ready to pray? You put your head down and then you notice to your left, you've got some large person sitting next to you, breathing down your neck. Well, guess what? What if you sat down and you realized that large thing was a St. Bernard and he was drooling down your neck? Well, if you're in Florida and you want to go to church, you may have the chance to sit down next to a big St. Bernard or maybe even a teacup poodle. I'll tell you, coming up on Animal Radio News.
Joey, you're looking mighty svelte. The diet's going well, I assume.
63 pounds, baby.
That's like a small child there.
Yeah, that's actually a big child. It's an 8-year-old, I think. I don't know.
That's 33 for me.
33. Well, he's doubled.
Great.
He's doubled.
That's great.
But I
had a lot more.
Yeah.
He had more to lose than I.
What are you going to be talking about today?
The song when Frank Sinatra, when they show their pearly whites. Well, you never hear pearly brown, so we're going to talk about keeping your dog's teeth pearly white.
Oh, gotta love that. That's coming up in just a few minutes. Let's hit the phones. 1-866-405-8405. This is your turn to connect with our dream team and ask them the questions that are on your mind. Hey, Mark.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing good. Are you ready to talk to Vlade, the world-famous Russian dog wizard?
I would love to.
Good. Mark, are you ready for the treat?
Oh, I need some help.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I have a mixed lab. She's less than a year old, which I rescued at a truck stop Christmas Day.
Okay.
In the middle of the night, and I guess she was lost, couldn't find the owner, had her scanned, couldn't find any ID for her, so here she is with me. And we have a chewing problem.
Okay.
And last night she decided to destroy a $500 GPS.
Oh, my gosh.
So, and between a CB radio microphone for $30 and several cords that go to these devices, I'm at my wit's end. It only happens when I leave the truck.
Okay.
And
this is nothing new to me because I have a lot of clients who are calling me through my SoCalDogTraining.com, and sometimes they're calling me on the verge of committing murder and ask me to talk them down because, can you imagine they enter the house and they see the dogs lay down across their $5,000 leather furniture, special order from Italy. I live here in Newport Beach, California, like a Beverly Hills on the ocean. And, they're just coming in and watching that dog chewing one of their arms off, and they just really, really get upset. So chewing is one of the things which makes the people, upset more than anything I ever dealt with. The reason why the dog chews, because they're dogs, and dogs need something to chew, but it also can be separation anxiety. It can be many different behavior problems. Here is my general intake on that issue. If your dog is chewing in your truck, okay, and laps, how old is your lap mix?
She's not much more than 8 or 9 months. She just had her first cycle, about a month and a half ago.
Okay, so you're talking about still puppy, okay?
Right.
So you would not allow a little child left alone, in your truck, and how it goes in America. Maybe in Russia we do, but here in America you will be in the jail in no time. So you're not going to be in the jail for leaving your lap in the truck, but the dog will punish your by chewing all your stuff up. So here's what I would do. I would get some traveling cage. It's made from material from cloth. It's a very nice one. If that's gonna work, I will use that one. If it's not, I'm gonna maybe get the real one. And it doesn't take too much space, and it's a very nicely looking crates. And I'm gonna make this type of the arrangement every time before I leave my truck. I will put my lab mix inside of this crate, okay? And inside of this crate, I will supply him with chew toys, all different of them, starting from the conch toy, antler chew, deer antler chew, nylon bones. I will basically get maybe 2-3 sets of the chew toys, and I will rotate them, okay? And that's what I will do. Once your dog get older, somewhere after 15 months, you'll be able to leave your dog, not in the crate. But at this time, this is the way to go, because every time when your dog does something wrong, that's less chance, because it's becoming in her memory, it's getting her in memory. So the next time she's gonna do it again, but the less she will chewing in your truck, the less likely it will happen in the future, because it will gradually erase from her memory. Does it make sense for you?
Makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I want you to do.
I put the leash on, and I tied the leash to the table so she couldn't get to the front, and when I came back, she chewed the leash in half.
I believe it. Even if not the leash, even if you put the cable, some trainers, you believe it or not, suggest this method. This is going to be a recipe for disaster, because on top of everything, you will develop all behavior problems based on freedom frustration.
Oh.
Yes,
right.
Vladi knows what he's talking about, because, I'm not just a dog trainer, I also certified animal behaviorist. Sometimes sounds funny, sometimes says funny things, but I do the real deal on my daily job. So that's the approach I will take. Of course, my friend, I would definitely, 2-3 times per day, I will get that lab mix out of my truck. I will exercise a little bit, especially mentally. I will, and physically too, of course. I would put the collar on leash, and I will say, let's go, make sure he doesn't go ahead of you. And if he goes ahead of you, I will turn around and snap the leash like it's shown in the video. If you will visit animalradio.com, you will see that video.
I saw it, and I have been doing that.
Good, but make sure you use the right color. You gotta get a pinch collar too, not the regular one, and pinch collar needs to be adjusted right. And after that, I will maybe get some toys, check the website, chaseitpettoys.com. It's like you can play with your dog, like with a cat, and exhaust that dog physically and mentally, the tired dog becoming good dog, and after that, supply him with something you want him to chew, and get him out of trouble. Instead of yelling and screaming at him, just put him somewhere else so he could be enjoying the time when you're not here, and you are killing so many birds with one stone, and you're just basically avoiding separation anxiety, avoiding any building problem. That would be the best approach from the Vladis point of view, and that's gonna work. Just do it.
And of
Thank
course,
you for calling us.
Don't forget to get her spayed too. You should get her spayed too, of course.
Oh, yes, for sure. That is on the agenda as soon as I get back home to Las Vegas.
Thanks, Mark. We appreciate your time today.
Thank you so much for your help.
1-866-405-8405 to connect with any one of the Dream Team.
Dogs or cats, horse or emu, animals are people too. An Australian man was recently caught hiding 3 geckos in his socks. Police found the little lizards hidden in the man's socks during a routine search of his car and alerted wildlife authorities. It's believed the man caught the geckos, which are a protected species in the wild, with hopes of selling the popular little lizards on the black market. The alleged smuggler had hidden a marble velvet gecko, an eastern spiny-tailed gecko, and a 3-spot knob-tailed gecko. A wildlife officer explained that taking an animal out of the wild affects both the local populations from which they're taken, but also can spread disease to other reptile communities. Unlawfully taking wildlife can cost you fines up to $24,000. Maybe this guy was just trying to save on his car insurance. I'm Britt Savage for Animal Radio. Animals are people too. Animal Radio.
Hi, it's Alan Cable with another dog tip. Folks call Animal Radio a lot with training questions. How do I get my dog to do this and to stop doing that? Well, we all know what a hassle housework can be, right? Imagine if your dog did the cleaning for you. I know what you're thinking. That's impossible, but it isn't. You're about to meet Jesse, the Jack Russell Terrier. He cleans up spills, he vacuums, dusts, even shines his owner Heather's shoes. So how did Heather train him to do it? Well, it's easier than you might think. Your dog might not be able to do housework, but there's so many things you can teach your dog just by taking advantage of his nature. Jesse showed a knack for tricks early on. So here's what we always talk about on the show and how Heather taught her dog Jesse to do housework.
I guess positive reinforcement. When they're doing something that you like, basically encourage them.
So when your dog is doing something you like, you tell him he's a good dog and give him a treat. Set him up for success. A lot of it involves patience, just waiting for your dog to do something, no matter what it is, that you like.
Jesse, go scooter.
First, Jesse put his paws on the scooter, and she praised him, gave him treats. Next, he put his paws up, and he made it move. Again, she praised him and gave him treats.
Good boy.
Heather was there every step of the way to reward Jesse. So how do we apply this to your dog? Let's take something really basic like lying down in the same spot. You can guide your dog to that spot and have your dog go down, or you can just wait till your dog goes to the spot and goes down. Either way, when your dog goes to that spot and lies down, you give your dog praise and a treat. Now, to take it to the next step, have somebody ring your doorbell. When it happens, guide your dog to that spot with your body and have him lie down. If he looks like he's getting geared up to bark, give him a really quick correction, either with a poke with your fingers, a quick snap of the leash, or a loud sound to refocus his mind. When he does, hold up your hand like a stop sign, and when you get him to stay, you give him a treat, tell him what a good dog he is. Over time, you're going to see your dog going to that spot more and more often when you're around, and eventually he'll automatically go there when the doorbell rings. He's going to start to associate being in that spot with praise and treats. Get more tips at animalradio.com.
Hi, this is Jamie Farr, and you're listening to the Animal Radio Network. And remember to spay and neuter your pets.
People say less is more. At Red Barn, we think less is better. It's what you won't find that sets our natural premium pet food apart. No byproducts, no corn or soy, no fillers. Just the natural ingredients your pets need to live the healthy life they deserve. Look at the label. We want you to. Red Barn Naturals Pet Food. Simply the best. Find it in your local pet specialty store. Red Barn canned food for cats and dogs is grain and gluten-free.
Celebrating our connection with our pets. This is Animal Radio. Here are your hosts, Hal Abrams and Judy Francis.
And your dream team, animal communicator Joy Turner. The dog father, Joy Villani, is back and better than ever. Vladi, the world-famous Russian dog wizard. And Dr. Debbie. It's toll-free. 1-866-405-8405. The season of stars continues today with Jenna Fisher from The Office, and probably one of my favorite characters from The Office. What is her character on The Office? I forget what her name. Pam, the receptionist, but now salesperson.
Okay, that's what I wondered because I watched The Office. Okay, that's Pam.
She'll be joining.
I don't know the names.
She has cats, and she's one of those people that lets the cats crawl across the table, the dinner table while they're eating.
I got a bird that does that.
Well, birds seem clean. I wouldn't mind so much about it. The cats just came out of the litter, and then, that you're eating on the
But the bird eats out of your dish.
Oh, well, that's cool.
Yeah, he decides that that he wants to take a bite, so just come and take a bite, put it in his foot, and sit there and eat it right in front of you and look at you.
Does your bird talk at all?
Not a word. Just eats the food out of my dish, and I'm on a diet, so I got limited food to eat, so I want to strangle the bird.
just groom her, and she will quit it.
Well, I know that
she likes it.
You actually put her in the sink, don't you?
Shower. Yeah, she likes it. She'll go in the shower with you. She'll go right in the sink. You fill it up like a tub, and not that I want to interrupt your segment there, Hal, about the cats, but I just figured I'd throw that in.
Hey, Amy, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me on.
Where are you calling from today?
Calling from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania.
Oh, how very beautiful. Are you listening on XM or is it WEEU? What station?
WEEU.
I love those guys. They love the animals. Dr. Debbie's right here. What's going on?
Her thoughts are on a raw diet for your dog.
Yeah. Now, is it for any particular reason, or
well, my dog has
intrigued?
had some issues with one ear, not both, being a little more red. He'll start to get a little bit of buildup in it. I was using some ointments and treating it that way, and that seemed to always take care of it. And so she just started talking about a raw diet for different conditions, and
And I didn't catch, what kind of doggy you got?
I have a little Westie, a West Highland Terrier.
Oh, okay, beautiful. A lot of personality in those little guys.
Yes.
They're fun. But I'll have to say, hearing that piece of information is very different because, yes, they are just horrible with allergies and skin disease in general. And when I look at different breeds, I can pretty much count on if I see a Westie and it's coming for anything skin related, we're going to have a very big allergy talk because they are just so prone to these problems. And it can be just something as simple as having ear infections or maybe an occasional rash or just tearing their skin out to the bottom of their skin. It just varies quite a bit. So as far as, I can't say that I necessarily embrace just a raw diet for this purpose. For me, I kind of go into this long spiel about food allergies. And for me, I don't treat that necessarily with raw diets. The way I treat that is by limiting the ingredients. And that might be either through a limited ingredient diet. I usually use the prepared commercial ones that are in the veterinary grade lines. Or I'll use a hydrolyzed protein diet. Those are the ways that most veterinarians feel most comfortable with dealing with food allergies, and it's really based on the concepts of how pets respond to food allergens. So just because a food is raw doesn't mean they're not going to be allergic to it. So for me, I'd rather go to more the concept level of what the problem is. So if a pet's allergic to, say, chicken, obviously we're going to avoid that, but the problem is it's not easy to know what a dog is potentially allergic to. So we have to go on one of these elimination diets. The only other problem I'd have to say with, doing your own raw diets, there's certainly the foodborne illness concern, as, even with commercial food, we're seeing with, some of the salmonella concerns in prepared foods. So that is an inherent concern I have with those. Also, just, some of the different digestive concerns that we have along with that, nutritional long-term effects with a home-prepared diet, a little bit variable. So I generally lean more towards the prepared commercial foods.
Okay. As far as allergies, could this be an allergic reaction, or response, even though it's just one ear? It's never
Absolutely. You got it. It could be one ear that just kind of chronically has a problem. And for some breeds, I would say ears and rears for me are number one symptoms of food allergy. So if we have an itchy butt, we have a lot of anal gland problems, or we have recurrent ear infections. Those are big reasons to address food allergies. But being a Westie, there's other things we talk about too. And, there's a lot of other opportunities to treat. They commonly also have, yeast infections on the skin. So if you got any other skin symptoms elsewhere, then we might deal with some of the...
So far he's really been, fine. He's about 2.5, and we've had no other problem.
Good.
He's a swimmer. He loves to swim. You think he's part Labrador. Loves to swim all day long, and we have a pond in our backyard, so he's wet a lot, so I try to dry his ears out. Mm-hmm. But I didn't know if that was perhaps an issue as to why the ears were giving him a problem.
It definitely can contribute. So definitely if we're swimming regularly, that just kind of fills that whole ear canal with water. So yeah, it definitely can be a contributing factor. So I would always make sure that a dog that likes to swim a lot, if we are prone to ear infections, that once we come out of the water and we call it a day, I want to use a nice general ear cleanser. The acidifying ear cleansers, if it has acetic acid, salicylic acid, those are going to kind of act almost like a swimmer's ear for a dog. And we're going to help dry out that ear canal and put that environment so that we hopefully don't have a lot of the bacterial or yeast agents that take advantage. Now, the allergy part of things, you may still have a red ear, but hopefully we don't get that infection to settle in there too.
Okay, that's great.
Thank you so much for your call, Amy.
Right.
And
thank you so much for your help.
You're welcome. This is Dr. Debbie. The whole crew is sitting here waiting for your call. Is 1-866-405-8405.
And this portion of Animal Radio was underwritten by Kensington Books. When homicide hits her suburban Connecticut hometown, Melanie Travis and her pedigree poodles are back on the case in Bite Club. Cozy up with your furry friend and see if you can figure out who the real killer is. Bite Club by Lorian Berenson is available everywhere books are sold, and you can learn more at KensingtonCozies.com. Thanks, Kensington, for underwriting Animal Radio.
Nature at its best is nature at its simplest. At Red Barn, we've kept it simple for 20 years by concentrating on single-ingredient natural dog treats. Because Mother Nature's actually pretty good at this. Bones are just tasty bones. Meat treats are just nourishing meat. It's nature at its simplest. Look at the label. We want you to. Red Barn Natural Treats. Simply the best. Find it in your local pet specialty store. Try our slow-roasted, natural meaty bones.
This is an Animal Radio News Update.
I'm Stacey Cohen for Animal Radio. Well, summer's in full swing now, and PetRelocation.com, an international pet travel and pet transportation service provider, has announced the results of its third annual Summer Pet Travel Survey. Travel trends have fluctuated, but overall the popularity of pet travel is holding pretty steady, and consumer demands are more specific than ever. Nearly half of pet owners will travel this summer. 47% of respondents said that they plan to travel with their pets within the next 3 months. Another 40% plan to travel within the next year. Seems that dogs rule. Even more, though, about a quarter of the people said that they travel with their cats. A commanding 85% will bring their dogs along when they hit the road. Safety seems to top the list for the third year in a row. Safety was cited as the number one priority for pet travelers. 60% of respondents saying it's their top concern when they make their travel plans. Convenience, that came in second place at 25%, and pricing was stated as the number one concern for 15% of the people. Washington's health department says, you know what, it's time to worry about ticks. Veterinarian Dr. Ruth McPeet says that few people realize that modern rural housing developments are often making America's tick problem even worse.
It's really the phenomenon of people moving from the cities into the suburbs where they're becoming very close to the forest, and they're actually breaking those forests up into fragments.
She says those fragments are fertile breeding grounds for ticks. The new website, dogsandticks.com, explains how to properly remove a tick from both people and animals. Ticks can carry health problems like Lyme disease. I'm Stacey Cohen. Get more animal breaking news at animalradio.com.
This has been an Animal Radio News Update. Get more at animalradio.com.
Hi, this is Dean Koontz on Animal Radio. Please spay and neuter your pets.
Check out Animal Radio highlights, all the good stuff without the blah, blah, blah. Browse on over to animalradio.pet.
It's Animal Radio, 1-866-405-8405 to connect with our dream team. Toll free. Dr. Debbie answering your vet medical questions. Vladi, the world famous Russian dog wizard, Joey Villani is back, and we're very appreciative of that. Animal communicator Joy Turner is also here. And you probably have seen the previews on TV, may even have checked it out. Brand new show on CBS. Yes, right. CBS, Dogs in the City, starring Justin Silver. And we welcome into the show today. Hey, Justin, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm just talking to you guys right now from actually location.
Oh, you're on location filming right now, huh?
Yeah, we're filming right now. I'm just taking a quick 10 minutes to talk to you guys.
Well, good. I'm glad you're taking time. Now, you're a comedian, and I know you from Funny for Fido. And you,
awesome. Have you been?
No, I haven't. But we've talked to the guy from 30 Rock who you booked once.
Judah.
Yeah, Judah.
Yeah. That was a few years ago. I remember when he had a conversation with you guys. I remember that.
Well, it looks like you're moving up in the world there.
Things aren't going too bad.
I think when you can pass by the whole Animal Planet and the Nat Geo and all of that and go right to network television, you're doing something right. And of course,
I didn't have much say in that, but I'm thankful that we landed where we landed.
The program called Dogs in the City. What is it about? It's kind of a reality show, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a dog training show, but it also focuses on the human aspect of the dog-human relationship and how a lot of times people's own neurosis and issues, you see the symptoms of that in their behavior with their dogs, especially in New York where you're never short of neurotic people with a lot of different issues going on. A lot of times you see dogs acting in weird ways, and I get called for a lot of these situations, and then I, kind of trace it back to behaviors in the owners. So we work on the canine aspect of it, but we also work on the human aspect of it, because I always say it's kind of like, a lot of times working with dogs, it's almost like I used to be a personal trainer when I was working with people who had obesity problems. It's not so much just the mechanical part of getting them on the treadmill, it's also changing the life habits that got them to that point in the first place. So a lot of times I'll work on the mechanical aspects of just training the dogs, but I also want to work on the issues that the people are having that, have made their issues get to the point that they're at.
Justin, I so agree with you. I always tell my clients, you will never change, you will never get the permanent result if you're not going to make some changes in your relationship. This is so great. Look, I have one question to you. How you deal with all those things, this dog training world? I will put it in the simple terms. I just did a few pilots for Animal Planet, and oh my God, just because I said you have to be the boss, and oh my gosh, I was almost like a crucified. How are you dealing with that?
You don't even have to finish the sentence. I so get what you're saying. Basically, the extreme version of people who think that if you yank on a chain a little bit, you're hurting the dog, and then conversely, the people who go the opposite end, where it's all aversion and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I think what you're addressing is the big split, the big divide in how to train animals and what is inhumane and what is almost like over-coddling. And how, you'll get both sides kind of coming at you. And for me, it's like I've always tried to just keep an open mind and remain right in the middle and learn as much from both camps as possible, because I don't think there's one answer to that. I think that, you always have to set dogs up for success by using positive reinforcement, but conversely, you still have to correct the mistakes, because otherwise you're doing the animal a disservice, because nothing learns that way. It's almost like, if when you're teaching kids math problems, it's like you set them up for success, showing them how to solve the problem, but you also have to tell them no when they get it wrong. They're only going to learn that much quicker. So, I really try to never get into arguments with people who are trying to focus too much on one extreme or too much on another extreme, and I think the happy medium is really the best way to train the animals. And I also look at each animal as an individual. I don't ever think, because this breed is known for such and such traits, this is the specific way to train them. Their personalities are so unique.
What was the hardest dog you had to train, or should I say person you had to train?
A lot of times you get people calling you for problems, and they're talking the entire time that you're trying to explain to them how to fix the issue. They have they have a million ideas about how you're supposed to do your job and go about it and fix it, and it's like you're almost battling with them to just give them a simple solution. A lot of times people don't think that a solution can be fixed quite simply just with someone who knows what they're doing. So it's like, a lot of times you're battling the client's personality more than the dog's, and the dog will often respond right away, which is shocking to the client.
We don't go a week without getting a call from somebody that's talking about how their relationship is being affected. Like the dog, especially the little nippy dogs, don't like the husband or don't like the wife. And really jealous spouses. And I assume you're going to conquer this on the series.
Yeah, we get a lot of that. You get a lot of. We actually, I think it's in this. I can't give too much away because I want people to stay tuned. But I think it's kind of in the second episode. One of the major issues is where a husband and wife, they kind of drew the line in their relationship via the dog, and it's like the dog was just really responding to the wife. Using a dog almost as as a form of separating their relationship, and you saw the dog would constantly nip at the husband when she would hold it, and she'd say, "See, he doesn't love the dog," and you really see that the person actually uses the dog to take one side of the relationship, and then the dog is always going to respond to the household. I always say animals are really the barometer for the household they're living in. So once I got them to see that was the issue, and then we did some techniques to just make the dog a little bit more, put the dog more in the middle, so to speak, then you saw the issues go away right away. So it was really more the husband and wife kind of owning what they were doing with each other through the dog. So now I don't know, maybe they'll get a divorce or something.
Have you ever seen that? Have you seen relationships break up?
I haven't seen relationships break up because of the dogs, but I'll be honest with you, I've seen me and my ex have joint custody of our dogs.
Yeah.
And at one point, I just could not stand her. And because of the dogs, we have become very, very good friends. And she appears on almost every episode of this show. So the opposite is true for me. That sometimes
you stay together for the dogs.
Make people who really did not belong together get together for the better.
Well, we do that with our human kids, I could see that happening. I know couples that'll stay.
It's almost the same.
Yeah.
It's almost exactly the same.
Justin, in this country, people would rather give up their relationship with the humans, but will never give up their relationship with the dog. The feel of guilt is becoming unbearable, so they're failing something,
Yeah,
So-
they feel like if they feel like if they give up on their, it's so funny. It's like when people take on their animals, you really see how the animals are extensions of their own feelings about themselves. Like that was one of the main things that I try to get clients to see a lot of times. And in the case of an animal that is, I always call it introduction anxiety, when someone is very coddling toward an animal because they've had loss in their lives, and then they adopt an animal from a shelter. So of course they identify with the animal as being, alone and scared, and then they coddle it, which that's not a bad thing unless it's over coddling. And then when the animal goes to meet another dog in the street, they have the leash way in front of them, and the dog is taking cues of nervousness from the person and then snaps out at the other dog, and then they bring it back to them, and then they hold it, and then they feel bad for it. You see how much the animals are an extension of their own feelings about themselves.
It looks like a great program. Check it out. It is Wednesday nights, 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern and Pacific on CBS. And Justin, we appreciate you taking time to join us today.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. I'm going to get back to you fixing the puppies here.
Knock 'em dead. Bye.
Fadi, that should be your show there. What happened?
I don't know.
You're listening to Animal Radio. Find us at animalradio.com. Log on, learn more.
I am the family dog, and it's that time of year again. The one where pet parents start looking for Fido-friendly hotels and destinations where Fido is welcome. Make no bones about it. Pets are part of the family, and we like to sniff out new places too, and we hate to be turned away, especially when we're on our best behavior. So we won't be left out in the cold. Be sure to pick up a copy of Fido Friendly Magazine to find the best hotels and destinations where Fido is always welcome. Go online to FidoFriendly.com and subscribe today.
Celebrating our connection with our pets. This is Animal Radio.
Well, good afternoon, morning, wherever you are. I'm Hal Abrams.
I'm Judy Francis.
Call's pretty busy today over there. I noticed you're
I'm
fielding
very
all-
busy over here with this phone.
You're an amazing, multi-talented woman, I'll tell you that right now. Judy Francis screening your calls for Dr. Debbie, Vladi the world-famous Russian dog wizard, Joey Villani the dog father, and animal communicator Joey Turner. Joey's going to be talking about those pearly whites or pearly browns today and keeping your dog's or cat's teeth clean, which reminds me it's about time that I clean
Your
Boog's.
teeth.
Isn't it funny how your own health care gets kind of put on the back burner?
I know.
Everyone's more passionate about their pets, and, we'll do without for our pets' sake.
Exactly.
Oh, no, wait a second. I wasn't going to say that. I was going to say Boog the studio stunt cat's teeth. I brush every day and I floss every day. Thank you very much. I do know that if your cat or dog doesn't get their teeth brushed and cleaned, that they can actually get disease that could be fatal.
Yeah, heart disease, kidney problems, all of that just from that bacteria that's showering their blood system. So it's cheaper and better to keep those teeth clean.
And with Boog, he eats canned food, so there's nothing really cleaning his teeth.
No,
So
he doesn't
all
chew
kinds
anything
of crap on his
hard.
teeth. Did I mention Jenna Fisher is going to be on the show today? Very cool about this. From The Office, Pam from The Office, as our season of stars continues into the summer. Wow, the longest season of stars we've ever had here at Animal Radio. And Stacey Cohn, she is in the newsroom. She works 24 hours a day. If she ever shows up at your doorstep, it's like 60 minutes. You don't want to answer because she gets to the bottom of any animal-related story. And what are you working on?
Well, summer's here. Everybody's packing up the car. The kids are in, and your animals are in. And do you know what is topping the list for the third year in a row as the number one priority for pet travelers?
What?
I'll give you a hint. The Romneys didn't consider this when they were traveling with their pets. I'll tell you about it coming up on Animal Radio News.
Okay. Great way to stay nonpartisan there, Stacey. Well, of course, that probably has something to do with the story of Mitt Romney traveling across the country with his dog on the roof. And
What breed of the dog he has?
I think it was an Irish, at the time, it was an Irish setter who's no longer with us, but I believe it was an Irish setter.
I like Barack Obama's dog, a Portuguese water dog. I like that one a lot.
Oh, Dr. Phil, he's getting sued for that alleged dog attack. You heard about that, Vlad, didn't you?
Yes, I did. And there is a lot of rumors now. They kind of telling, well, he's not he's not doing himself what he's preaching about. He is preaching for the people to be more proactive in their relationship, and he wasn't proactive in the relationship with that dog. And from my personal experience, dog bites never comes out of the blue. There is a lot of warning signals. Some dogs show more warning signals, some less. For instance, we always talk about the pit bulls, and far from being a breed bias, because I truly worked with many nice and wonderful pit bulls, but genetics pit bulls, I mean, they desire to hide their intentions, and that's why when sometimes they snaps, it's very unpredictable. So but for the rest of the dogs, it's very predictable. So easy see, easy deal. That's what my advice is.
You don't think he's being sued because of his bank account?
Of course he is, of course, but and I'm definitely against, because we live in the sue happy society, that's for sure. But in the same time, just I talk to the regular folks all the time, just telling them, look, you don't want to be in trouble. In the United States, on every dog, basically, we have at least 3-4 lawyers. If we're going to count the lawyers and count the dogs, we can see in this country we have more lawyers than dogs, especially in the state of California. So don't play with the flame. So many people say, oh, it's okay, my dog bark, 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 bark. Dogs first bark after they snap, and it comes as totally surprise. Don't play with the flame.
Vlade has a 3-month waiting list, but you can get through to him right now at 1-866-405-8405, and we're going to go to the phones next.
Greetings, Animal Radio lovers. Vinny Penn, your party animal. I actually have a question for you. One of my last days on the beach, I noticed something very interesting. There was one guy on the beach who had a newborn with him, about a year old, a year and a half old, kind of taking his first little lumbering steps on the sand. And the guy was there without, the baby's mother. And to my left, a bit of a ways down, was another gentleman who was frolicking with a dog in somewhat the same capacity. And I swear, if I'm not mistaken, the guy with the dog was getting more, the girls were staring at him much more than the guy with the baby. Well, I guess as I say it out loud, women seeing a guy with a baby, they probably assume there's a mother not far off, and perhaps one who takes Taekwondo, or, maybe they're living in fear. Maybe that's why the guy with the dog, the dog is the ultimate chick magnet, particularly on the beach. You throw that Frisbee, and that dog comes running out, soaking wet, and does that shake, and you do a funny little, get me soaking wet. This dog was a chick magnet, and it wasn't even like it was, it was a Rottweiler or this beautiful chocolate lab or, anything of this nature. It was a straight-up mutt. Not that I'm anti-mutt by any stretch of the imagination, but the girls were running over, look at him, and the dog would shake the salt water on the girls. Don't do that. And they were laughing and everything. All I was thinking about was every time I took a girl to the beach, if I splashed water on their shore, she was like, you jerk, and stomped off to the concession stand, only to come back with French fries that she didn't share. The dog is a chick magnet more than a kid. But as I said, I think I'm realizing on the air, because women probably presume kid's got a mother. Guy's probably taken. So I guess this really wasn't a question, or maybe just that I answered my own question. Vinny Penn, Party Animal, on Animal Radio.
Hi, this is Park Overall. I'm just thrilled about Animal Radio. Please, spay and neuter your animals. Please.
Here is today's top automotive news story. I'm Nick Miles. It's a garden party with plenty of horsepower as the Porsche Taycan visits the Festival of Speed for the first time. Porsche is adding an electric sports car to its lineup on the legendary Goodwood Hill. The debut is part of Porsche's triple demo run, in which the Taycan will make 3 appearances on 3 continents in 3 weeks. The Taycan will be presented in September and launched to the market at the end of the year. To find your new Porsche, check out our reviews at OurAutoExpert.com.
Our Auto Expert is brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts. Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get guaranteed low prices and excellent customer service at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
Celebrating the connection with our pets. This is Animal Radio, featuring veterinarian Dr. Debbie White, groomer Joey Villani, news director Lori Brooks. And now, from the Red Barn Studios, here are your hosts, Hal Abrams and Judy Francis.
Just a few minutes away from Jenna Fisher joining us on the Season of Stars here at Animal Radio. Lots of giveaways this hour, and in fact, well, let's not do that now. We'll do that in just a few minutes. Stacy, what are you working on?
Flea and tick season, it's here, and you know what? Your house could be making your tick problem worse. I'll tell you about it coming up on Animal Radio News.
Line 3, we have, is it Juan? Hey, Juan. Welcome.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Hi, Doctor. I'm fine. Thank you for the opportunity to ask you a question.
What's up?
Okay.
Doctor, basically, I have my cat Buddy has been with me since 1999, and I noticed that lately when my cat Buddy grooms himself, he's pulling some hair out. He has patches now of skin without hair around his thighs, and I was just wondering, why that would be. He's an in-and-out cat, and the only stress, we live, I live alone with him, and he lives alone with me, but the only stress that we got now is an ant infestation in our place, and the ants get to his food, and Buddy comes to me, and I open a new can for him and throw away the can that's got all the ants, and it's been a battle, but I don't know if that's stressing him out or what.
Yeah, and itchy cats, when they're pulling their hair out, the first things we really look at are whether there's something medically going on or if we think there's something behaviorally or psychologically going on. And the honest truth is that 80% of itchy cats that are pulling out hair, flea allergy, dermatitis is the likely culprit. So if your kitty does go outside and you live in a flea area, that's the number one thing that we focus on, we work on. Besides that, the next things down the list tend to be allergic skin disease, and that can be things like outdoor allergens, food allergies, and it can even be things like insect allergies. So cats can actually be allergic to things crawling around in the environment, especially if they're getting close and up and personal with those critters. So those can be some things. So I would definitely work on getting that ant problem taken care of, and if that means picking up the food, limiting the time that it's down, because that definitely is one thing you can control pretty easily by just taking some of that opportunity away.
Right, now, I do. I mean, he eats and then he walks away and then he eats, and then when I notice that he's done, I go and I grab the food before the ants get to it. But there is a cat outside that's a feral cat, and it's his friend, and I wonder maybe he's getting some ticks from her, or I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. If he's going outside, he's definitely in a higher risk group, and fleas, it doesn't take much. They only spend about 5% of the time on the animal, and they'll actually be in the environment, so the bulk of the time. So one of the main things that I would direct you to do is, because this can be very frustrating when we're dealing with cats pulling out hair. A lot of times we want to blame it on behavior and talk about stress and things that upset them, but there's actually been a lot of research on this, and one important piece of research, they found that 76% of cats that were believed to have behaviorally driven problems where they chewed themselves and pulled their hair out, 76% of them were actually medical causes that just were undetected. So that means that very small, less than 1 in 4, is going to be something that's more behavioral. So I would work really hard on the flea allergy possibility, and you may need to even see a veterinarian about, there's a product called Capstar that you can give as an oral medicine, and that is one of the best, quickest kills to help decrease flea burdens, that can really help with determining whether or not we have a flea allergy. So that's one big thing. Now for other types of approaches for allergies, food allergy is a big thing, and that would require a commitment to a special diet as well. So you would have to work with your veterinarian on that and make sure he's not getting other things. But beyond that, then we really get into some of the nitty-gritty medications that we might use, things that are in the antihistamine family for itching, or things that might be more geared towards behavioral driven things. So for me, I'd say I want to try giving your kitty a pill. And who wants to give their cat a pill, right? Really? I'd look at doing some of the other things that we might be able to tackle here when it comes to flea control.
Well, thank you. I'll take him to the vet, and I'll mention that Capstar medicine that you mentioned. And he'll take a look at them, and but he definitely needs his. And now that you mention it, I haven't been he hasn't had his flea treatment in a while, so maybe that's what I need to do now that summer's coming.
Yeah, and this is going to be a bad season when it comes to parasites all the way around. Fleas, ticks, you name it. So yeah, you definitely want to be vigilant. And sometimes we will even, with the veterinarian's direction, with some of the different flea products, we'll even increase the frequency from once a month to every 2 weeks. So that might be another thing to inquire with the product and with your veterinarian there.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Doctor.
You're welcome. Thanks for calling. This is Dr. Debbie. We're here at 1-866-405-8405.
Well, this healthy serving of Animal Radio is brought to you by the grain-free Red Barn Naturals, canned food for dogs and cats, always made in the USA with natural, functional ingredients to support your pet's optimal health. You can learn more at redbarninc.com. And thank you so much, Red Barn, for underwriting Animal Radio. And I believe we are going to go to line 3. Am I correct? They're all blinking.
Line 3.
Teeny, meeny, miny, mo. Let's go to James. Hey, James, how are you?
I'm doing fine. How are you guys doing?
Very good. Where are you calling from today?
Lodgepole, Nebraska.
Oh, wow. Do you live there?
Yes, actually, I'm a wheat farmer here.
A wheat farmer? So, wow.
Yeah, wheat farmer. I've got a huge wheat and corn farm out here. So, but the question I was calling you guys about is I just actually saved 2 sugar gliders, or got 2 sugar gliders from a rescue.
What's a sugar glider? Sugar glider? What is that? I don't know.
It's a little marsupial. They're like about the size of the palm of your hand, a little marsupial, and big eyes. Very interesting little characters.
They sound cute.
Yeah, they're really, really interesting and a lot of fun, actually. And the last family really, I don't believe, was giving them the attention they needed and the love and everything they needed. But the question I have for you guys is that, should I get these 2 boys neutered? I've done some research online, and it's kind of a yes and no. If I do, is it bad for them? I mean, or is it good for them? And also about when should I do it? They're still in the stage not really knowing me too well, and we're still bonding. What's your thoughts?
Well, for sugar gliders, I definitely recommend to neuter the boys. We don't do the girls, but we can, but we generally do the boys. And as long as they have their goods in place, we can do it. So most of these guys, once they come for their first pet exams, we can talk about doing that. The reason that it's actually quite easy to neuter sugar gliders is that they're testicles basically are on a little stalk, and so they kind of hang away from the body. So it makes it very easy to access the area. And here at my office, what we generally do is we do this with laser surgery, so it helps to minimize bleeding. The biggest, and I'd say the one thing we really watch after neutering these little guys is that they tend to chew themselves. So we're really aggressive about making sure we use pain medication, and even just kind of putting like a Novocaine block at the area where we do the surgery. That's probably the biggest downside to things. But I wouldn't say that. I think it will definitely help make them more apt to be affectionate, and kind of takes down a little bit of that aggression that we can get with them. So for making them better pets, I say absolutely. If you need to give them a little bit more time to bond to you, I think that's great. But I don't see a reason that you'd have to wait, because it definitely helps them in the long run.
And just out of curiosity, what is the normal cost of neutering these animals? Is it really expensive or fairly cheap?
It is going to depend a bit on what kind of veterinary availability you have in your area. And I'd have to tell you that sugar gliders are certainly a little bit more of truly what we'd call the exotic breeds. So, for some folks, they may not feel comfortable handling them, or they may just not have the equipment to deal with them. And certainly, like I mentioned, here at my office, we have laser surgery, which is really neat for some of these little guys. So you're going to potentially run into a little bit more of a cost factor with that. And I would have to say that here at our office, I think neutering these guys is maybe just a hair over $100. But in some facilities, it could actually be as much as a couple hundred, just because of, not having a lot of other competition in the area for them. But we see so many of these critters that, it's not necessarily a big deal for us.
Well, thank you so much. I just want them to be happy. So that's about it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your information. It really helped out.
Sure, I'm glad. And, I wanted to mention that sugar gliders are definitely an animal that you got to have a lot of time for them. So it's unfortunate if the other family didn't spend a lot of time, because I've had some of these little guys where they will actually just kind of shut down. If they're not getting love, affection, they won't eat. So, thank you so much for, taking them on. And they're curious little creatures, a lot of fun. Thank you so much for your call, James.
I appreciate your call.
They're with me right now. They ride with me all day in the tractor.
They drive in the tractor with you. Wow.
That's great.
Yeah, the tractor drives itself, so I just sit here and look at them in their little pouch thing, and they chill out and look around all the big windows and stuff. Occasionally, they
wow.
Fly around on things. So.
I think in 11 years of doing this radio show, you're the first caller with sugar gliders.
Well, thank you guys. Well, have a good day.
Thank you for your call today. So, Dr. Debbie, are these animals that need to be kept inside? Do you keep them in a cage? How much room do they need? I'm trying to get an idea.
Yeah, they definitely need a cage, and they're climbers, so they definitely need big, wide cages. Got to have a lot of hiding places for them, and they eat a various diet. So they'll eat fruits, vegetables. They need a lot of protein in their diet, so they'll eat little bugs, boiled eggs, things like that. But they do take a lot of attention, and sometimes people get them for when they have kids, and it's not always the best thing if the kids aren't comfortable handling them. They do some really interesting little sounds. It's something called crabbing, so it kind of goes and so when they're unhappy, they make this sound, and a lot of people do ooh. So it just takes with kids for them to get used to them, and not freak out. I still kind of freak out sometimes when they do that, because it catches you off guard with this little alien sound that they make.
They sound absolutely adorable. We'll put a picture up over at the website at animalradio.com. First sugar glider call here at Animal Radio.
Hey, this is Paula Poundstone. Wait, I forget where I am.
Animal Radio.
Animal Radio. I love that. All right. Hey, this is Paula Poundstone on Animal Radio. Spay and neuter your pets, or we're going to be eaten alive.
You'll roll over with joy for Bite Club, the new Melanie Travis canine mystery by award-winning author Lorian Berenson, amateur sleuth and proud parent of prize-winning poodles. Melanie Travis has a new book club catering to fans of crime fiction. That means when homicide hits her suburban town, this time she has a whole pack of mystery-solving pals to help her collar the killer. Dog lovers won't want to miss this lighthearted, playful caper. Bite Club is on sale now everywhere books are sold. Learn more at KensingtonCozies.com.
Check out Animal Radio highlights. All the good stuff without the blah, blah, blah. Browse on over to animalradio.pet.
Welcome. It is Animal Radio. More wag, less bark. Celebrating our connection with our pets, as we do every week. If this is your first week, welcome. Welcome all. Check in with us at 1-866-405-8405. To my left, Dr. Debbie. To my right, Vlade, the world-famous Russian dog wizard. Dog father Joey Villani and animal communicator Joy Turner joining us on Skype. Judy's screening calls right now. Ladybug, the studio stunt dog, is actually talking to, I believe, a cat on the phone. Yeah, she'll talk to your cat. What the heck? Stacy Cohn, she is working hard in the newsroom. Where is she? She disappeared from the newsroom. I guess she's getting coffee. Let's hit the phones. I believe we have Cindy on the phones for Vlad. Hey, Cindy, how you doing?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
Good. What's on your mind today?
Hi, Cindy.
Well, I just
Cindy.
Cindy. Vlade joined the show, and I've been listening for about 4 years now, and I'm just about to quit listening.
Oh, no. Why is that?
Well, it seems like Vlade just takes over the whole show, and we don't get to hear any of the other people hardly at all.
Oh, really, Cindy? Okay, so you called to complain about Vlade, he taking over whole show. That's kind of interesting. So go ahead.
Well, that's pretty much, you have some good information, but you just are so lengthy in all of your explanations about everything.
That's what our producer says.
Okay.
It's just really annoying because, like if Joy or one of the others gets on there, it seems like almost immediately the music starts playing and they cut them short. But Vlade, he can talk forever.
Okay, so Vlade gets special privileges, you believe?
Well, I don't know that that's it, but maybe so. Yeah, maybe so.
Well,
I don't know.
Cindy, what can I tell you? I really still not sure what is your complaint is about. If you would have some, do you have a dog?
Yes, I do. I have several dogs and cats. I rescue them.
Oh, good for you. What dogs you have?
Well, I have the ones that are mine that I keep with me all the time are a little Cocker Spaniel, a Lab, a Chihuahua, a Schipperke, and a couple of mixed breeds. Yeah.
You have a whole selection of them. So do you have any behavior problems with them?
No, everybody does really well.
Okay, I guess the problem is always problem if we are considering it as the problem. What if I will knock on your door? If you're not gonna be like this, or you think it's okay for them to bark like that?
Sure, because that way they're letting me know that someone's there. That's their job.
Now we understand your nature of your complaints, because you're really not my client and not my listener. You know, Vladi likes the order. Vladi likes the way to transfer the dog to be part of the family, where you can take him with you everywhere you go, like we do in Europe. You know why? Because they behave. And when knocking on the door, dog's supposed to maybe bark one time to tell you somebody's here, but after that doesn't become service to you anymore. So basically, go ahead, Cindy.
No, that's right. You're absolutely right, and that's what mine do. They let me know that someone's there, and when I call them off, they hush.
That's good. So you're the alpha. You're the alpha.
And they go with me, you know, and they're very well-minded whenever they go places with me.
I see. So you're the alpha.
Yes.
Okay, that's where you don't have a problem. And I guess some of the people needs to learn from you how to become the alpha, and that's all this show is about. One of the famous philosopher said, you gotta keep main thing as the main thing. And the main thing in the relationship with your dog is respect to the human authority. Because if some people keep doing what they keep doing, they're gonna get what they are getting. And I guess that's all what my advice is about. My explanation goes a little bit beyond the strict to the dog's point. I bring analogy from the real life circumstances, bring the humor, because that way people better relate. My education beyond being a certified dog trainer behaviorist, I also have an MBA and master's degree in social science. So that is why it gives me a chance to address broad pictures, and that's why maybe sometimes some confusions, but that's what my language is. I sometimes talk between the lines, sometimes stick to the point and address the point decisively with a brutal truth. You like it or not, but that's what the Vladi, that is why when the Vladi talks, so many people listening, and I appreciate your feedback. We love negative and positive. That's what we're all about. This is the great country, America, where the democracy is the main supreme. Thank you for calling, guys.
Thank you, Vladi.
Cindy, you said you have cats?
Yes, I do.
I'd like to give your cat some cat litter. Is that okay? Some world's best cat litter. I have tons of it that they put right in front of my desk, and I can't sit down at my desk unless I give it away.
Thank you. That would be awesome. I could really use it, yeah.
And also, we'd love you as a listener. We don't want you to go anywhere. We need all the listeners we can get, and especially very smart and intelligent listeners like yourself, okay?
Well, thank you very much. I do love the show.
Cindy, hold on for 1 second. She didn't like you, Vlad.
Wow.
Yeah.
What happened? Yeah, I mean, I love the people like that too, because, you know, that's what they make our show so great, because, you know, different opinions. And that's all my persona is. I don't cover it up. It's like very controversial, and I always, through all my professional career, I have people who love me and hate me.
Yeah.
And
how slick? Because what's going to happen now, we got her address, and we're going to go pay her a visit, okay? Because we're sending the cat list. We got her address. Don't worry. We'll straighten her right out for you, okay?
Well, no, this is exactly what our producer's saying, though, all the time. And it's funny because she was actually saying that you interrupted. As she was saying that, you were interrupting. And... But you know, this is Vladi. This is why we have him on Animal Radio. We have all types on Animal Radio. Joey Villani, of course, quite the personality, as well as Dr. Debbie, animal communicator Joy Turner, and we love to hear from you. Okay, yeah. So puppy pads are convenient, but sometimes they're really gross. That's why Ladybug, the Animal Radio Studio stunt dog, uses the Brilliant Pad self-cleaning puppy pad. It seals away the waste and replaces the dirty pad for us. Brilliant Pad keeps the Animal Radio Studios smelling fresh. In fact, all we have to do is replace the roll once every few weeks. And let me tell you, that's pretty fast and easy to do. I love it, and Ladybug gives it 5 paws up. You can learn more about this amazing machine over at BrilliantPad.com.
This is an Animal Radio News Update.
I'm Stacy Cohen for Animal Radio. Hey, if you missed Lucky the dog's posh wedding shower, you could still make it to her wedding at New York's exclusive Essex House Hotel. Lucky, who now holds the Guinness World Record as the animal most photographed with celebrities, has posed with the likes of Betty White, Snoop Dogg, and Hugh Grant. Her new mission is searching for a husband. Oh, get behind me, Lucky. The marital-minded Maltese is taking applications on her Facebook page for the right guy, which owner and animal advocate Wendy Diamond says needs to be friendly and not camera shy, but not necessarily canine. Wow, she's going for a mixed relationship here. What's the rush? Well, poor Lucky's been diagnosed with terminal cancer and given 3 to 12 months to live, and she wants to make sure she has a husband before she dies. All right. Would you take your dog to church with you if you could? There's a Florida pastor who says he's decided not to turn away any 4-legged parishioners who want to join their 2-legged companions at church. Pastor David Hughes told the Sun Sentinel that almost 500 dogs filled the pews on this past Saturday for the first of 2 Dog Day weekend services at the Church of the Glades in Coral Springs. Some of the animals reportedly in attendance range from teacup poodles to Irish wolfhounds, as well as several eagles were there. A 600-pound lion was in church. Can you imagine sitting next to a lion while you're praying? I would be praying immediately. That's one way to get you to start praying. Hughes says he thinks that man's best friend fits nicely with the values of loyalty, love, and protectiveness, noting that many theologians call Jesus the Hound of Heaven. All right. That's his quote, not mine. I'm Stacy Cohen. Get more animal breaking news at animalradio.com.
This has been an Animal Radio News Update. Get more at animalradio.com.
This portion of Animal Radio is brought to you by Pet Stay. They give the 4-legged friends the 4-star treatment. It's available at Caesars Palace, Paris, Planet Hollywood Resorts in Las Vegas, and Pet Stay includes amenities like the food, the water dish, the sleeping mat, dog treats, specialty room service. Yeah, for your dog, specialty room service. It's more than pet-friendly. It's pet-focused. Details at Caesars.com/PetStay Las Vegas. This weekend, Tony and Tina's wedding. This is
a June wedding?
Everybody.
I've seen it.
Have you?
Have you?
I would imagine.
I've seen it when it was off Broadway in Manhattan, and you know what? It's unbelievable. You got to go see it.
Really?
Is that one of those
you
shows
have
that
to see it.
They make the audience participate?
You're part of it.
Yes.
You're part of it, and I'm not going to say anything, but there's a lot that goes on. Even if you go into the bathroom, there's crap going on in there too. And,
literally.
I'm serious. Literally, yes. No, but there is. It's really good. Watch it and bring your dog so they can sit in the room and order room service.
It's happening all through July 31st outside at Bally's Las Vegas. And like Joey said, bring your dog along and they can stay in the room and eat the room service while you're out checking out Tony and Tina's weddings. Pet Stay, thank you so much for sponsoring Animal Radio. By the way, the Pet Stay program is at Caesars Palace, Paris, Planet Hollywood's, Harrah's, Flamingos, Bally's, and Rio, as well as the Imperial Palace Resorts in Las Vegas. Just a lot of great hotels. We're topping off this week's show with Jenna Fisher. She's on the phone. Hi, Jenna. How are you doing?
Hey, guys. How are you?
Oh, it is so good to talk to you. Are you calling from the set?
I'm not. I'm calling from my house. I wish I were calling from the set. That sounds more exciting.
But you're working now, aren't you, this week?
We are. We're shooting this. We're shooting the current season, the season 5. But I had the morning off, which is a real treat, and so I'm talking to you guys.
Oh, very exciting. Now tell us. I remember in 2006 you were on the front of People magazine, or you were pictured in People magazine with Andy. Is Andy still around?
He is. He's 16 years old.
Wow.
Oh. He's doing great. Last year he was diagnosed with the beginnings of kidney disease.
Oh.
And I have to say, if I worked for many years doing animal rescue, which I think you guys know, and through doing animal rescue, I got sort of a crash course. I feel like I became a little bit of like a vet's assistant with my knowledge of various diseases and things that cats can have. And thankfully, I wasn't overwhelmed by the news that he had the beginnings of kidney disease because it's really manageable. And I give him sub-Q fluids at home every day.
Oh, really? Like an IV?
It's not an IV because I don't have to hit a vein, thank goodness, because I don't think I could handle that.
Yeah, it's a fairly common disease. How is Andy taking to this?
Well, that's the thing. He was a semi-feral cat when I got him, and very feisty. And he, at first, he was not crazy about it. I suffered several bites of protest and scratches, and he would wiggle out. And now my biggest problem, he's so relaxed. You know, cats actually sort of like getting fluids. It feels good. And now after a year of doing it, he looks forward to it. He sits in this little basket. I put the needle in, and sometimes he'll make a little protest of a meow, but that's it. Now he's so comfortable, he starts to clean himself while he's getting his fluids. And now my biggest struggle is making the needle stay in. Sometimes when he cleans himself, it just pops out because he's so relaxed.
Oh, well, that's good. I'm glad he's adapted to that. We have a similar situation with the cat here. And we don't have to do the fluids, but we have to pill him every day. And it took a little while for him to adjust to it. Now he actually comes for his pill.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Do you put the pill in something, like food or something?
No, and you know what? He gets 2 pills every day, and he sits there, and if I don't get it exactly in his mouth, you can see him work it and actually swallow it.
He actually swallows this pill.
Yes.
I cannot believe that.
We're not talking like about a meat pill or anything. This is a prednisone, a steroid, which tastes pretty nasty. Yeah.
Wow.
Is Andy the only animal that you have in your life?
Yes. Well, I had a dog with my ex-husband, and my ex kept the dog. His name's Wesley. He was a rescue as well. And but every time either one of us goes out of town, we pet sit for the other. So actually this month, my ex is going out of town for 5 days, so I get to have Wesley, my dog, for 5 days.
Oh, that's good.
And the cat and dog will be reunited, and which is always a lot of fun.
Oh, you have visitation rights.
That's exactly right. Exactly right. So, it was tough because we rescued the dog together while we were married, but the dog always really took to my husband more, and they had a closer bond. And Andy had been mine since I was in college, and so yeah, that was hard. But I'm the go-to person whenever he needs anything, and so.
Did you travel with Andy across the country when you left home for stardom in Hollywood?
I did. I drove from St. Louis to California with Andy in a little cat carrier in the back seat of my Mazda hatchback, and it took 3 days. And I would stop. What I did was I put a litter box on the floor, the seat behind me. And occasionally when I would stop, I would open the little door, and he never wanted to come out. He just stayed inside that carrier the whole time. And when I would stop at hotels, I would stop at a roadside motel and sneak him in. And he would come out into the hotel at night, and I don't know when he would do it because, when I was sleeping, he would sort of sneak over and use the litter box and eat a little bit, but he hated it. He hated that drive. And he only protested, though, I was about 3 hours outside of Los Angeles, and he finally started meowing. He had had enough.
So you were sneaking him in the back entrance of the hotels, I imagine.
I was, yeah, because they don't allow pets, but what was I going to do? I was, traveling across the country with my cat, and my only other option would be to sleep in the car with him on the side of the road or something, because there was no way I could leave him in the car overnight. Yeah.
Ultimately, are you a cat person or a dog person?
I would have to say I'm probably more of a cat person. Growing up, my family always had dogs. We never had a family cat. And it wasn't until I went off on my own and got my own apartment in college that I found Andy and rescued him and sort of discovered the wonderful world of cats. And I don't know what it is. They're so smart and curious, and I love to watch him figure things out. It was like he was 7 years old, and one day, over the course of about a month, he decided that he wanted to open up kitchen cabinets. And I watched him every day kind of work on this project, and eventually he figured out how to do it. And now every once in a while, I'll walk into my kitchen, and there'll be like the bottom drawer is open, and he's sitting in it.
Okay.
And I just think that's so neat that he just one day, he's like, you know what? I want to open these up.
Inquisitive. What is the most spoiled thing you think you do for Andy?
Well, I kind of let him bully me around with food.
Uh-oh.
with his kidney disease and everything, he has to eat a pretty specific diet, so I can't be as generous with people food as I used to be. But when I was raising him, I gave him some bad habits. I just think it's cute, though. When I eat cereal, sometimes he'll hit the spoon so that the milk splatters, and then he licks it up. But it's so cute. I think he's so smart that he gets the milk off the spoon. And so I always say, I'm an adult human, and I have to protect my food from my pet cat. While I'm eating, I have to, guard my plate because I've taught him very bad manners. He's allowed to walk on the table during dinner, which when I have dinner parties, then, I have to put him back in the bedroom or if he jumps on the table, I act like it's the first time he's done that. I'll go, oh my goodness, I don't know why he's doing that. Oh my, I'm so sorry. But of course, he does that because every night at dinner he sits up at the table with me.
Mm-hmm. He's been trained to do that.
Yeah, that's probably he's most spoiled. He has bad manners. If I'm drinking water or something and I have a glass, he can just walk right over and have a sip if he wants.
Oh, the things we do for our animals.
I know, but I just love it.
Jenna, we so appreciate you taking time out of your day to visit with us.
Oh, you guys, I could talk animals all day.
You're listening to Animal Radio. You can learn more at animalradio.com. Log on. Learn more.
Here is today's top automotive news story. I'm Nick Miles. Fiat Chrysler Automobile claimed that the new 2020 Charger Hellcat Widebody will be the most powerful and fastest mass-produced sedan in the world. With a 6.2-litre supercharged Hemi V8 touting 707 horsepower, it'll do 0 to 60 miles an hour in just 3.6 seconds and have a top speed of 196 miles an hour. Dealers can order the car this fall, and deliveries are scheduled to start early next year. To find your new Charger, check out our reviews at ourautoexpert.com.
Our Auto Expert is brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts. Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get guaranteed low prices and excellent customer service at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
This is Animal Radio.
From that day on, I'm ready to vow I'll be there when you want it, some way, somehow. 'Cause baby, there ain't no mountain high.
Let's take another one for Dr. Debbie. We have Dwight. Hey, Dwight. Welcome to the show.
Hi.
What's going on? I have Dr. Debbie right here.
Hi.
My neighbor has a chocolate lab, about 3 years old. I just saw this the other day. He is eating his own waste.
Oh, lovely.
I said, how long has he been doing that? Oh, he didn't really know. And I said, what are you feeding that dog? He's a good dog food, but he didn't tell me what it was.
And when he was doing this, is the dog housed in in a run, or is this he was just running around the backyard and just decided to eat his own poo?
Backyard.
He's in a backyard, and so he just kind of went back to the area. Okay. So, the interesting thing is that most of these cases, it's more of a behavioral problem than actually a medical problem. There can be some medical problems that can cause a dog to do this, whether it is a digestive, absorptive problem, some types of food allergies, parasites, things like that. But generally, it's a problem that they actually pick up when they're young. And the mother dog, that's basically how she cleans the babies, is she licks their hindquarters and ingests their feces. So as disgusting as it sounds, this is kind of a natural behavior that they pick up very young. It goes awry when it becomes just disgustingly a nuisance. So some of the tricks of this, and it can be hard when this has been going on for such a long period of time. But what we talk about is limiting the access and the opportunity for this behavior to happen, and then to try to avoid it as well. So the first thing that I would do is pretty much keep this dog under eyeballs watch anytime he's outside. If he's left alone to do his own business, then he's going to potentially eat his own business when he has that opportunity. So you really have to go escort them outside, whether it take them out on a leash, or to actually, just kind of physically observe while he does his business. There are some deterrents that you can put in their food to make the stool taste bad, and you would kind of naturally think that stool tastes bad anyways, but dogs love it. So but that can help. You just have to be consistent with that and actually let the dog try to ingest those stools that correspond to the powders or the pills that they eat. So that's kind of the big thing there. Now some folks will kind of use Tabasco sauce or other bitter tasting things and put it on the stool to deter them. And that's fine if you can actually be that vigilant and follow around in the yard and put that on all the stool. But for me, I'd say I'd rather see folks spend their time picking up that poop, decreasing the opportunity, and, not waste your time putting, sauce on stool. It just sounds disgusting to me. But, he's got a real challenge on his hands if this has been going on for a while. We can nip it in the bud and we can definitely get control of it, but it's going to require, getting a handle on things behaviorally and access-wise. And, since he is doing this, it will increase his potential for things like intestinal parasites. So a visit to the vet, get that stool checked, screen him for parasites. And, a diet change might not be a bad idea as well, but I'd start with some of the simple things first and, go with that.
Okay.
All right. Well, you're a good friend, man, to be concerned about your friend's dog and eating poop. So I wish I had neighbors like that.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Dwight. I have neighbors like that. They eat their poop. 1-866-405-8405. This portion of Animal Radio is brought to you by Kitty A Go-Go, bringing you 6 attractive litter box options in colorful designs from leopard prints to polka dots, especially suited for smaller homes or apartments where traditional litter boxes are an eyesore. Kitty A Go-Go will add stylish decor for you and your cat. Available at kittyagogo.com. That's kittyagogo.com.
You got to check these out. These are really cool.
They are cool.
I have one in my living room because I have a small living room, and I hate it when people come in and they can see the litter box. They come in and they see this, and it draws their attention because it's so cool looking.
They're like, look at this cool furniture. Yeah,
I know.
Right. And how long did it take for this to happen? I just thought that was such a brilliant idea. The litter pan, it should be a fashion accessory. We love our cats. Why would you want to make it seem like you're afraid that people notice you have a cat? This is great. Announce it.
Yeah, and you can get it to match your decor, and just it's a cool piece of furniture.
John, how are you doing?
I'm great, thank you. How are you?
Good. I understand you want to talk to our animal communicator, Joy Turner.
Hi, Joy. Pleasure to speak with you again. Thanks for taking my call.
You're welcome. Thank you for calling.
We did a reading a month or so ago for my dog, Thule, and you recommended some chiropractic, and I since then got I had 2 sessions for her over a span of a couple of weeks, and she seemed to really enjoy them. I was hoping that maybe you could just check in and make sure that she's feeling better and doesn't need another session anytime soon.
Yeah, she thinks she's fine. She doesn't think she really needs anything now for quite a while. She feels so much better, she tells me.
Okay.
And she's just so delighted that we did this. She just can't even believe how much better it is that she feels.
Wonderful. And Joy, she knows that I'm leaving tomorrow, right?
She says yes, but she still hasn't quite figured out for how long. So how long are you gone?
Just 13 days.
Okay. And a way that you could tell her that, if you wanted to tell her without me, would be to tell her 13 and some natural cycles, like either 13 times after it got dark or when it got light or some natural cycle like that, because day doesn't mean much to her, which is pretty typical of animals.
Okay. So I'll talk to her in the form of, in the terms of night then.
Yes, and she says the other thing she wants to do is tell you to have a very good trip and bring her something very good back.
Really?
Yes.
I wonder what I could bring back for her.
Well, she thinks, of course, something to eat. She thinks if you're going to a different place, there's got to be something different to eat there.
Okay, I'll bring her something back to eat then.
Yes.
Wonderful. I will do that. And so thank you very much, Joy. That's really helpful. I appreciate all that you've done for us.
Oh, you are so very welcome, and thank you so much for calling Animal Radio.
Okay, have a good afternoon.
Okay, that's all we have time for today. Remember, you can check us out at the website at animalradio.com. We want to thank Jenna Fisher for joining us today, and we'll see you next week for some more good old Animal Radio.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you,
Have a good
buddy.
weekend.
This is Animal Radio
Network.